Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, the whole shebang. I celebrate none of that, but I do celebrate life because I am a very grateful human being. And today I'm just going to be spontaneously talking to a little furry microphone that is connected to an audio system that is recording my voice, and then it's going to be edited and come to your ears if you dare to click on the play button. So today is the 24th of December 2024. I can't believe that this year is almost gone. This has been a very incredible year for humanity, for myself, for everybody who has allowed themselves to get in touch with what really matters. And I don't like to predict the future, but I do know that we are going through a very big end of a big cycle. I've written about it. If you haven't listening to it or read it, it's in my previous 3 weeks Substack. Go, subscribers, click on it, listen to it. I have a lot of things to talk about: harmonics, how we relate to one another and to ourselves, and also, upcoming transits that are super important. If you don't feel like knowing any of that, that's fine too. So that's why I'm here today. And I want to talk about it. So today is a very beautiful day for me, not because it is Christmas. I actually do not celebrate it. And I have a story about that. So it's not a boo 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 story, but it is true. When I was almost 9 years old, when I was 8 years old, my dad went to buy a pack of cigarettes and he crashed his car. He never came back and he went to heaven. That's what the nuns told me. I know he's in my heart since that day, but that really killed every single Christmas after that. That happened in January, mid-January, but in Colombia, we used to go on vacation from the 15th of December until the 15th of January. So he died the day before I went back to school. So every single year after that, it was kind of difficult for my family. We were all very young. I was the second of four kids to kind of deal with the idea of like a happy Christmas. So my mom, being my mom, she decided to take us all traveling. So we started really traveling a lot, and we would spend Christmas in odd places, but it was not very Christmassy. It was all about kind of like enjoying life. And so since then, I do not celebrate. Although I have to say, my mom in the last years, she would be very eager with the decorations and, trying to put the whole family together. But we will all go like, Mom, I don't want to be there. So interesting. Now, whoever I have been married to, I only been married twice, but I've been with other people. I don't know. Their families always celebrated Christmas. And for me, it was always like this annoying thing that I have to do. So, fast forward 60 years old, I still don't care. I've never bought a Christmas present, and I don't think that I will ever buy such a thing. So I don't really think about buying Christmas presents. I kind of do the emoji thing this morning, and a few people that wrote to me, I sent back three emojis. One was a present, the other one was a heart, the other one was a Christmas tree, and I think a fourth one was another heart. So it was like my way to say, yeah, happy Christmas to you. So today is also interesting because every year around this time, the sun is already in Capricorn, but it is at 3 degrees 42 minutes right now. And that's where my north node is. So this is almost like it's like a anniversary for me, where the sun comes and illuminates the part of my chart that is talking about where I'm coming from. And so I feel very Capricornian at times. I'm very disciplined. I'm very much pursuing a life full of integrity and structure and all that. And basically, I'm supposed to, in this lifetime, to open my heart and to be more kind. I'm not making fun of these things. I'm making fun of me because I actually have done that. I open my heart and I become more kind towards others, but mostly towards myself. So I'm less harsh on myself. I'm less like demanding, because I am very disciplined. That's another Capricornian trait, like discipline, like following what is right, structure. authority, father figure, restrictions, limitations, institutions, blah, 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 blah. But now that I have opened my heart, I'm more like, oh, let me listen to your needs. Oh, I'm also listening to mine, so on and so forth. So, okay, never mind. I'm being very sarcastic here, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Um, I also wanted to talk. Today, I'm just going to go all over the place because that's how the energy is for me. I finally, after finishing the book, it took me longer. And I'm also closing another big project that is going to be installed at the University of Washington. Guys, I do public art work, and these are commissions that take usually 2 to 3 years to complete. This one I started, I believe it was January, actually December 2022. I got an email that I needed to make a phone call to the people in the University of Washington and the commissioners. So I started talking about the work that I was going to do. 2023, I worked the whole year making the proposal, and then that was interesting. Working slow, taking my time. And then this year we've been fabricating, and it has taken longer than usual, but I don't mind. I'm used to this kind of timetables because it gives me so much time and space to actually investigate and research and design and, work with the fabricators, get samples. It's just part of my life. And so also the kind of work that I do is very well monetized. So I have been making these decisions about investing my time and my money, educating myself what money really is, other than just being a technology. Is also, how should I put it? Is the way I can actually connect to my essential needs. And since I understood how it works and mostly what is the history of money, I have been able to really make very wise decisions that I never thought that I could, because I now know what it means. What are the properties of money and how I can actually live in a lower time preference. I think about the future. I have learned to invest my time, which is money, into sound money, something that is not debasing or inflating. So, as you know, some of you know, I'm very much into Bitcoin. I go to conferences, I talk about it, I stack sats every day. I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm taking care of that part of my life that before I was just very neglectful. I always had money coming in and it was always coming out in a way that it was very much guided by the sense of guilt that I felt because I was, you know, the time I thought I was lucky. There's no luck here. It's all about decision making. Anyway, so I'm saying all this is because I'm very grateful. This year I kept on studying even more Austrian economics, more books about economy. I can understand big conversations about money, and I'm not going like, what does that mean? Or, yeah, I can read a lot of these books, and I can actually look at the financial charts and feel very confident that I've been learning how to read the market, and it's quite amazing because the market is very much involved with emotions. People feel very connected to it, and sometimes they're so excited that they end up putting all their money into a stock or into a coin, and then they probably don't know how to measure things, and then probably they lose everything. It's like, shouldn't speculate with what we don't know. It's like going to a casino. So for me, it's not anything of that. For me, looking at charts gives me the satisfaction to know that when I read the charts, I'm actually having a deep relationship to what I value. And like I said in the previous Substack, it's all about frequency. So, I was driven to and motivated to find the frequency of Bitcoin and its wavelength. And so, in that pursuit, I ended up studying a lot about harmonics and understanding that it didn't matter really what was the frequency. The frequency that matters is the one that I'm living every day, and then I will resonate with the general energy of what I want to attract, and then that's when a lot of Bitcoin start making a lot of sense to me. So, okay, so we talk about the money. Now what's next? Oh, yeah. I know what I wanted to talk about. So a few months ago, I started thinking, probably weeks ago, I started thinking that I would like to invite somebody to talk about art, because that's what I mainly do. That's how I'm known. And even though I wrote about it in the book, I wrote only one chapter about the art practice, but I don't really speak so much about art in the Substack. And I wanted to come to it from a different angle, because I have become more and more critical, not about the art itself, but the way contemporary artists are relating to money. And I find, this is my opinion, this is based on my experience of observing. So this is, if you don't agree with this, fine, we can still be friends. But I've been observing that there's a lot of ignorance in terms of like financial illiteracy. So there's a lot of people always blaming that the problems of the world are based on the difference of classes and the oppression and gender, and you know where I'm going. So it's interesting because I find that it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about me judging what they feel is correct. It's more like the disconnection that there is in the art world on how money works. It's immense. I was part of that group of people. So I did invite a couple of people that are in the art world, as you call it, if they wanted to have a dialogue with me. I had some questions and see, how things are changing. And they declined. They said similar things. They said that they've been watching my feed in Instagram, that I'm too political right now, that I'm anti socialism, that I sound more, I don't know, conservative or whatever, like all these things and fancy words people use in just to say I'm not like you, something like that. So it's interesting because, and the couple of people that I was able to ask, they both agreed. And that's why I just give it up. So I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to interview myself as an artist. In both cases, they say they don't want to be related to me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So no relationship. So it's interesting how, and this is what I've been finding, and I want to talk about it. I'm not against these people. This is how they feel. I respect it. I said thank you both times. Thank you so much. And I did say answer the same thing. It is going to be very difficult right now to find some person who's in the art world and wants to have an open dialogue without calling me names, or is afraid of me calling them names, which is not my purpose. So I'm not wanting to call people names. I just very curious about why they're not curious about how the money works, why they're not curious about what really moves the market. Because at the very end, if you are in the art world, you are part of the art market. And since pieces of art are used as commodities, especially secondary markets, are you aware of why the secondary market has a different value than somebody like me who's still alive and still can create endless amount of works? I can tell you right now that artists are always valued much more is because they're dead and they cannot produce any more. So that means that their work is scarce. And scarcity is really what gives value to everything. That's why we like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is scarce. There are only 21 million coins that are going to be able to be produced, and that's it. The same thing with dead artists. There is what it is, and so people just value this art that has cannot be produced anymore. And so that's why you have like big auctions where they're trying to sell the work and pumping the price, but it is always based on the scarcity. Now when you are a contemporary artist like I am, you can create endless, and there's no value in things that are infinite until I perish and won't be able to produce work. Now I have a good choice in the last few years to only produce work that is under commission, and only produce works that are very unique, in the sense that I'm not going to make extra prints or extra editions of anything. I may be able to modify something and make a variation. That means that every time that I do something, it's a new thing. So that in that sense is kind of unique. But I'm bored to make the same thing more than once. I'm actually excited to have another opportunity to create something out of nothing, like new. So I really love working in commission work. I love to be able to listen to the needs of the community or the people where the work is going to be installed and is going to live, because that's the connection that I want to have directly. I do think that acting this way makes my work more valuable. And also the people who hire me, they hire me because they find that my work is valuable. I'm not going to depend on the roller coaster of the market. Right now, for instance, I've been seeing a lot of art magazines talking about like, oh, we had like very little sales. 2024 has been, not too warm, not too cold. And I always ask and I say, guys, you know how this works? Because artists shouldn't be waiting for the galleries to sell. They shouldn't be waiting for like the goodwill of a collector or a director of a museum. I mean, if artists were really engaged in the history of money, they wouldn't have dealers, they wouldn't have collectors, they wouldn't, because they will understand that the power of your work is like when you understand the value of your time. So if you don't have a connection to those needs, you're at the mercy of others. And this is a very incredible analogy at the same time with the idea of fiat money. We are trusting banks and we are trusting also what governments are telling us about like where money comes and inflation and deflation and all that stuff, and interest rates go up and down, and people go like, oh, I don't understand that. That sounds complicated. Because if you don't understand it, I mean, why would you care? But when you start studying money and then you realize that, the money that you're supposed to have in a bank account because you trust the bank and you go and leave it there. And as soon as you deposit that money, the bank is already lending this money. It's going to lend it to one, to another, to another. So there's no reality of backing that money with any commodity such as gold. And talking about that, there's a great documentary that came out, done by a bunch of Bitcoiners. It came out today. It's about the Federal Reserve. I'm going to put the link so you can watch it. If you were to read certain books to get educated financially, I would not doubt to read the following books. A Creature from Jekyll Island, that was written by Edward Griffin. Actually, there are 4 books right now from my mentor, Saifi Dianamus. The first one is the Bitcoin Standard, the Fiat Standard, the Principle of Economics, and now the upcoming Gold Standard that will be out in March. And then last but not least, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories like I've done, you can read Whitney Webb's A Nation Under Blackmail. Then it will give you so much clarity on where we are in that field. You'll feel with time that you have more power over your sense of value rather than just be waiting for things to change. That's all I have to say. This was just more like I wanted to connect, have fun, and tell you a couple of things. So today, the 24th, we have the second of the 3 Saturn and Jupiter squares. Saturn is in Pisces, and Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini, 14 degrees. They're going to meet again at the very beginning of the cardinal signs, which is Saturn will be in Aries along with Neptune, or very close by, and Jupiter is going to be in Cancer. That's going to be a biggie. So I've spoken also about it in previous posts, but today you can feel that energy. This is a square that I really like because it's actually teaching me to be more structure. Saturn in my second house is giving me the structure to really tap into everything that makes me vulnerable about values, money, and all that, because my Chiron is there. So, as I said before, I've been learning about it. So I don't feel vulnerable anymore because I have the knowledge. And so I feel confident that even if I don't know, I can always investigate and be more assertive about it. Now, I've been taking some time to really prepare a strategy about how I want to be more expansive creatively. That's a square. Jupiter is on my 5th house. That's where my North Node is, and also Venus. So I know that the next year, or the years coming next week, is going to be a place where I want to expand more creatively. So I've done the book. Thinking about other things that I'm going to drop and let you know in the very near future. I have all these ideas that are coming, and so I'm very excited about that. So my question to you is like, where are these planets falling in your chart, and what is it that you've been structuring so you can actually expand with things that you're already being curious about. So I hope that you have the courage that's also needed, because Chiron is right now in Aries. So all you need to do is to be courageous about not only voicing that, but making the time to create the structure so then you can expand. So this is a beautiful time. Actually, we're still in the square because the sun right now it's at 3 degrees and the nodes are 2 degrees. This is giving light to some sort of looking back at the things. South Node in Libra, all kinds of relationships that they're not good for me anymore. And the moon is there today, 26 degrees, and it's conjuncting Vesta. What are the relationships that are not giving you any sense of devotion right now that you want to just let go? And that means people, situation, and things. And then because the North Node is approaching Neptune, is within 5 degrees. How is it that you want to connect with a bigger purpose in your life? Something that you can trust completely, because it's this beautiful thing that connects you to your soul. That's really where we're going. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna have another opposition from Pluto and Mars, the second one, and the third one's going to be on my birthday. Hello, April 27th. So we're going to have this other opposition. And so it's like, where's the direction that you want to take, where you can be creative, be expanding that way with your creation, but at the same time that you try to find what is in harmony with the collective. It's not about, oh, I can't show up this way because, I have to meld with the collective, or neither. I don't care about the collective. This is what I want to do right now. All right. Last thing that I wanted to talk about, I think, is well, it's not really short. So I'm just going to say goodbye. Again, happy Christmas. And I'll talk to you guys before the new moon and Capricorn. That is, I believe, is the 30th. So I'm going to try to make a post about that. So see you later. And thank you for listening. Ho, ho, ho.